Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how you create sections and plans in Rhino by just cutting the model and then hatching in line. It's pretty easy. One thing to note is you may want to have the display setting right here. If you don't see this, if you go to those little options, you can turn on display. That's going to help you go ahead and change your solid color in the background from white to gray if you want to choose it, or whatever color you want. I would recommend just keeping it gray for now for some screenshots. But what you want to do is go ahead and copy your model, and then if you want to cut a section, actually we're going to cut a plan first. We'll just draw a plane, planar surface, and then we are going to go ahead and just simply bring this up to wherever we want to cut it. I'll say right here. You can kind of align it to where you see it to be fitting. I'm just going to cut it like, actually I'm going to cut it up top. You should probably take a few cuts, one at the bottom or mid, and then one kind of top up here. And so I'm just going to go ahead and trim these by using the trim command. Now, what you want to do is select everything, deselect the plane, and then go to your front view where you can see it. And right now, maybe I'll just isolate this so you can see that we have our cut object, right? So I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to type the command section, and section asks for where the section cut is happening. The section cut is happening here. I know that because I cut it off, right? So I'm just, you can draw a line, kind of the plane that it's being cut on. I'll just do that. What that ends up getting you, if you go to your 3D view, you end up getting a profile line of your cut, which is right here, right? Now I'm not going to go ahead and move that. I'm just going to isolate those lines, right? And I'm going to move them to a layer called lines. Okay, so actually they're a layer called white lines. Change that layer. Now that layer is the white line, it's continuous, it's got a line weight of 0.6. I could turn print display on, turn that to on right there, and now you can see the thickness. That's going to be useful for our view capture, so you don't need to kind of do the line weights in Illustrator or anything, you just get it directly from here. So now I'm going to go ahead and hatch this. Now you might need some cleanup. This looks relatively fine. For example, if I wanted to clean that up, I would just kind of cross it like that, and then you might just trim. So in your case, you might need to do some cleanup and then make sure that's joined. And I have a closed curve, it says it right there. And now I'm just going to go ahead and hatch, and then I'm going to turn off the lines and then select all of these and convert it to my hatch layer, which is here. Okay, turn the lines back on. And if you go ahead and go show, you can delete that plane, and what you'll end up getting is a hatch over your cut. Okay, so you can make 3D sections from this, or you can just kind of go back to top view. You can change this from rendered to Arctic. Don't go artistic, that's going to cause probably your computer to crash, so just go to Arctic, and you'll see it'll just turn everything into this grayscale, which I think looks pretty good for plans. So once you're ready to export this, you just go underscore view capture to clipboard with an underscore, and then with the underscore it allows you to change the resolution. So instead of your viewport, you just want to go to 3200 by 2400. That should be pretty good. You can customize it and make them go bigger, but this is probably pretty good. And then just click OK. Now let me show you how to do a section. It'll be very, very similar. Go to copy this. So in this case, what you want to do is just draw a line anywhere. It should be a straight line. Extrude up. Now make sure it's intersecting everything. Now what you want to do is have a section going the short ways. If it's a cube, then there's no short and long ways, but usually things have a short side and a long side. This is a short side, this is a long side. So you want to make sure you have a section going both ways. Okay, so I'll cut a section through this, basically right here. Yep, that seems good. Make sure I'm intersecting, and now I'll just trim this side off. You don't need to cut this stuff off to get the section command. I could just select this and use the section command. Just like here, obviously this is the cut point, right? And so what they'll give us is the section profile. But the problem with that is I can't actually see the section. So I recommend that you just trim things off by copying your object and then trimming. So just grab all your objects. You don't need to go into a different view. This is just easy. You just go from this point to that point. And you might have grabbed, like I did, the plane, which is fine. You just delete the plane line, that's not needed. And then in this case, you could do some trimming. Right, now move these to the hatch layer, delete this plane, and that should be good enough. I mean, this isn't actually accurate here. This is a thin surface. I should have added, thickness here, but for now, that should be good. Right, so it's in my left view right here, and you'll notice that I am in Arctic view. and this looks good enough for what we need. Just understand the section. So this is a long view section. Obviously this line right here would probably be darkened, but for now this is good enough. You can always add that in later. Now if I go to parallel view, I can also change this to Arctic. Just come here and go to Arctic. And if you want to have like a isometric view, you just come up here and go to set view and go to isometric. Go to southwest. Southwest gives us this view right here. I'm going to move this away from everything else. So you can just take a nice view capture, but type view capture to clipboard to save, and that'll be saved to your clipboard, which means that you can just copy and paste it. Otherwise, you can do view capture to file, and that way you can save it to a specific file name that you like in a folder that you want. Okay. All right. That's pretty much it. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know.